Hello and welcome to Gers TV. My name is Cy Leslie.
And I'm Ryan Nugent. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Folks, I'll be on in a wee second. I'm just doing the technical side. We're a few men down tonight, but we're going to be talking all things Rangers. Ryan, do you want to give us an update on what we're talking about tonight?
Yeah, so tonight, Cy, we're going to be recapping the game for the weekend. Obviously a hard-fought victory against St Mirren at the weekend, so we'll be recapping that. Transfer window week this week, so comes to an end on Thursday at 11:30. So we'll be talking things, all ins and outs for the Glasgow Rangers this week. Looking forward to the weekend as well, and also we're going to be going on a wee night out on Friday night as well, so we'll be talking about that.
Yeah, 100%. Just a quick comments came in that there's no sound, just because I double check on that. It should be sound because it's all coming in. I don't see any issues. Let me know if there's no sound by giving us the thumbs down, and if there's a good sound, which there should be, give us a thumbs up. That's all we're asking for.
Yep, so...
Takes 30 seconds, mind, with a delay on it.
Yeah.
Should be fine. I
Right.
can hear you. Oh, there we go.
Thanks,
oh, no,
Mark.
you can't. It's pantomime season.
Good guys, Mark, Donna.
Brilliant, Donna. Excellent. Guess
Gavin,
what?
thank
I'm
you.
on my way over. Right. Have we got the coffee, the biscuits?
We are ready to rock. Unfortunately, we've not got the Kellogg's cornflakes tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've not got the cornflakes, but we've got everything else. We've got the
aye.
biscuits, the tea. The two lads are on a diet, obviously, and it's January. It's all happening.
I started dry January today.
Did you?
Aye.
Last day.
It's going well so far.
There's also a battle in the mugs. You can tell us who's got the best Gers TV mug.
Aye, absolutely, yep. Not that we're going to be promoting our merchandise or anything.
So it's battle in the mugs. We had a wee meeting today, so the full range of Gers TV merchandise is going to be available by next week. It's top class, and as well as that, there's other things happening. We've got the calls going to be starting back next week. They should have been starting tonight, but we're just short of staff, so it's going to be hard for us to do that. So let's get this underway. What's the first subject?
St Mirren at the weekend.
Well, I think we should talk about Butland first, because we were shitting my pants
Well,
before we came on there.
Yep. So, just as I was coming in the car there was an out space that a bid had been made for Jack Butland. Nobody's talked about any numbers yet, so we don't actually know what the bid was. So, but as far as I'm aware, that Rangers have flat right declined it, not willing to talk about it.
What's your thoughts on it?
I wouldn't sell him, to be honest with you. I think he's tremendous, absolutely fantastic, but...
Every club's got a player that you can't afford to sell.
Aye, yep.
Right
yep.
now, it's probably not the best things to say, but the goalkeeper is the one player that we cannot afford to
He's
sell.
made such a massive difference for us this season, to be honest with you. McGregor obviously was such a great servant for the club, but Butland's just a next level goalkeeper.
Now, no disrespect whatsoever to McGrory, who I think's a great goalkeeper.
Yep.
But first of all, you need two good goalkeepers at any club like Rangers.
Absolutely.
And right away, what I said to you before we came on the show, Ryan, was I guarantee you now, if we were to sell Butland, McGrory comes in, and he would get injured.
Aye, yeah.
It's just a certainty, and all of a sudden we've not got a goalkeeper. We've not got the strength of goalkeeper that we should have.
I mean, Robbie's had his injury worries before in the past. He's had periods of time where he has had to take a couple of months out at a time. So, obviously we hope those times are behind them and stuff, but it just goes to show that any player can get injured at any period of time.
I just think it's unthinkable. I don't think obviously it's just it's a bid from Notts Forest.
Notts Forest, aye.
Yeah.
Yep.
Premiership.
Premier League team, yeah.
So it's a big move.
Aye, certainly.
And it would also assist him in. I'm just doing the devil's advocate. It would also assist him in his he would like to be the England goalkeeper, I'd imagine.
Aye, yeah. I mean, there was talk today. I mean, I read something in the paper the day that Jeff Stelling thinks that Joe Hart's going to be the England squad before Jack Butland.
Oh, well.
It just goes to show you how much Scottish football Jeff Stelling's watching at the moment, because there's absolutely not a snowball's chance in hell that Jack Butland's behind Joe Hart in England pecking order, to be honest with you.
Butland's form has been outstanding.
Aye, tremendous.
And his leadership.
Yep, absolutely. But I mean, for me, he's the model professional goalkeeper. He's fantastic with the ball at his feet, comes for crosses, he's vocal, he's shot stopping. I mean, the size, his wingspan from glove to glove, he's an absolute tremendous goalkeeper. He's fantastic in one-on-ones, and even games that he's quiet, he still comes up with the big saves. I think there was one at Ibrox a few weeks ago, there was somebody one-on-one with him, and it's a totally different game if they score that. He makes the saves for us.
One of his biggest assets he's got, I think McGregor was really good for this as well, but a lot of goalkeepers don't have this. His positional play. Aye. He makes a save sometimes look easy.
Aye.
You might say that was not a bad save, but then when you watch it again, you go, no, he positioned himself to make it look easy.
Aye.
That's a talent.
Yeah, you see a couple of great saves in Betis as well in the Europa League. So you can never say that he's priceless, because every player has his price.
That's the problem, and in this day and age, it's a business that Rangers are running as well as a football club.
Yeah. I mean, the player trading model that we have, that we're trying to start, that obviously we're promoting, that we're doing, we signed a guy on a free transfer in the summer, and all of a sudden somebody's rocking up and they're offering millions of pounds. Well, we're assuming it's millions of pounds, so it better be millions of pounds that they're offering for us, or we're insulted by it.
I first thought when I seen it, when he first came in, I thought he'll probably be a good goalkeeper.
Aye.
But he's been fantastic.
I'd high hopes. I mean, just his pedigree and his upbringing. You look at, I mean, obviously he's never really been a #1 goalkeeper, no matter what, but you look at the
Well, he
clubs
chose
he's been-
Rangers. He chose Rangers for football, no money.
Aye, exactly. I think he took a massive pay cut coming from Man United to him. To us. I wonder about Man United would think now. I think Man United would take him as their goalkeeper, looking at the goalkeeper they've got now.
That's the calibre, but we've also got one other thing with him that's really important for any football player, is he's happy. I believe, I don't know the guy,
Yeah.
but he's happy as far as I can see.
Yeah,
He likes the fans, he likes the club, he likes the management.
He looks really settled and he looks really happy that the.
So he spent a few years no having that.
I mean, every time that, you know, sometimes maybe don't see it on camera, but when the game's up the other end of the park and we're singing the songs and stuff, he's always giving us a thumbs up and, you know, fist bump. He really appreciates the fans and he appreciates the love that we give him.
Yeah, that's the main thing for me. So, will Rangers consider it?
You know, unfortunately you have to, because obviously every player is priced. As a fan, absolutely, you know, it doesn't make any football sense to me at all. I'd like to think we could knock it back and say
This
no.
is my dinner, by the way.
I'd like to think the club will come back and say absolutely not. No, we don't want to sell. We can't. You know, we can't.
It's got to be a show of strength.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. And I think it's unquestionable. I mean, you then go to a situation where Robin McCrory's the #1 goalkeeper potentially. I don't think there's time to sign a replacement.
There wouldn't be enough time to sign a quality replacement. So you'd be wasting your time signing somebody.
Yep, and John McLaughlin, by all accounts, is still in the building as well. John McLaughlin's had ample opportunities to make his stake for the Rangers #1 jersey, and I don't think he's ever really taken them.
But is he even playing anymore?
No, he's still the #3 goalkeeper as far as we're aware. He certainly comes out and trains in the warm-ups with
I
the.
can't think of hearing his name.
Nah, he's 36-year-old in the last year of his contract.
Doesn't
You know,
sound like he's on the right.
Kieran Wright's your #4 as well. He's been promoted through the youth team. He's had a couple of loans as well.
But listen, I'm all for giving these boys a chance, but I think it's about showing a sign of intent as well,
Certainly.
that you can't buy your goalkeeper.
Aye, certainly. I don't want to lose him under any
So you really
circumstances.
need leadership for the board there.
Aye, certainly. But I think that's the breaking news anyway, certainly coming out. So it's good to see that that's done. Unfortunately, there's not much breaking news coming in the way at the moment.
There's no. Let us know your opinion on it, guys. Just a wee comment up here. Sorry, I don't know what that's saying. Let us know your opinion on the situation with Butland. I'm just going to check the sound again for a wee second. Also, I'm here because there's only 2 A's. But
Yep.
I'm quite happy with the transfer window so far.
Aye, certainly. So, I mean, the players, I mean, in so far, we've got Mohamed Diamande coming in from Northland in the Danish league. Comes with a good pedigree, seems like quite a versatile player. Seems to be playing a number of positions across the midfield, left-footed as well, which we've not really got a lot of left-footers in the team at the moment as well. I think off the top of my head, Dowell, Barisic and Ridvan are the only left-footers we've got in the team at the moment, so certainly brings a wee bit more balance to the squad as well that we've been looking for. Tom Lawrence, is he left-footed? Possibly.
I think he's, again, I might be wrong with this, but I think he's left-footed, but I think he's the type of player that could play left or right.
Aye,
He's
certainly.
quite a mobile player.
Diamandi's obviously in the building there. It's a loan with an obligation to buy, I believe, at the end of the season.
Also looks like we're going to sign the boy now. I was reading this today, so I hope I get this right.
Yep.
That Portuguese, the term is, the J is termed as an H, so it's
Aye.
hefty.
Hefty, Brazilian.
Aye, now
Brazilian.
look at it to us sitting
Yep.
here and a few of the Celtic
Aye.
fans will be going,
Hefty.
They two are hefty.
Hefty, aye,
They two
yep.
are hefty, never mind anybody else
Yep.
being hefty.
So there's a wee bit of politics involved in this signing. So he's on loan at Apoel Nicosia in the Cypriot League.
That's right, so we
from
need permission
Fluminense.
from them as well.
Yep. So he's on loan with them. I believe they have a option to buy,
Right.
but are currently serving a transfer ban at the moment.
Right.
I think there's maybe 10 Cypriot teams at the moment have actually been banned by FIFA from signing players.
Is that right?
At the moment, financial misdemeanours allegedly.
Yeah.
So there's a few things going on with that kind of side of things. So that's one that we're really looking to there. I think it'll probably be similar to the way that the Tillman deal worked, that we'll probably need to financially incentivise Apple to accept it,
Yeah.
to let them come to us. And obviously Fluminense, we need to make them happy as well. So it's possibility. There's a wee bit of kind of naughty journalism from the Sun earlier on today. They said he's AWOL at the moment. He's not spoken to anyone for 5 days.
That
So, but obviously we're, you know.
He'll have to negotiate with 3 teams now.
Aye, well, the person I believe in, the person for me is Fabrizio
Romano, he's never wrong. He's never.
And he's came across and said he's agreed personal terms with us, so you'd like to think it's pretty much a case
It's just a case of dotting the I's.
It's the politics and the finances side of it. So if he's agreed the terms, he wants to be here, which is great news.
So, before we go any further, do you think the transfer window closes on Thursday at, what did I send, 1:30?
11:30. So,
11:30?
yeah, the English one's at 11, Scottish one's 11:30.
Not that it matters years ago, but it matters now. The Saudi Arabia one's now gone, that's when, I think.
I'm no sure.
Or it's 11:30 in the night.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
That closes before everybody else.
Yep.
So the question I was going to ask you, Ryan, is will there be any more transfer business? What's your opinion on that?
Well, we've got the Oscar, help with this one, Cortez. So,
Lloyd dropped in the middle, is it no?
Aye. No, that's Diamandi. That's
Diamandi,
Diamandi has got your middle name, so I've got that guy, he's here already. Oscar Cortez, so he's a Colombian right winger.
That likes to slide on his knees.
Aye, yep. So, might be a new Buffalo Soldier for us, you never know. But he's a right winger from Colombia. He was at the Millonarios, I think it's pronounced, their Colombian club.
Yep.
They're owned by the same company as RC Longs, so he's there on loan at the moment. He went transferred there at the summer and there's talk of him coming on loan to us. But apparently lit the heather on fire at the Under-20 World Cup last year as well. He was apparently absolutely phenomenal, so could be another really exciting signing with that one.
That looks like that might happen as well. The talking.
It's looking good. It's looking good, yeah. Apparently he's keen to come, so that's always helpful. Again, though, you just don't know what's going on in the background here, but that's the other one that looks pretty close to happening.
So, 2 days left of the transfer window, and the big question everybody's been talking about all transfer is, will we go for a centre forward, and if we do we go for Shankland?
Aye.
It's a strange one now. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think so.
Mate, to be honest with you, if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now.
I think that as well.
You're probably at the stage where I don't know if you go for the player so late, are you actually going to disrupt the player by coming for him so late? You know, you're actually going to disturb him.
You've got a slight advantage, right? Well, this is me talking as a fan, knows I'm a professional, obviously.
Yep.
Because I could be talking nonsense. Signing Shankland, you can take the chance of signing him at the very last minute. The reason I'm saying that is he knows everything about Rangers. He's a Rangers supporter.
Certainly.
He knows enough about Scottish football. He's the top goal scorer in Scottish football now, I think.
Yep, he scored again at the weekend.
And he's scored at all levels of football. So signing him in the last minute isn't as big a gamble as signing a player from England that's maybe never played abroad.
Aye.
But it's still no fair in the player, in my opinion, because if you got him and he went to Spain, as I said at the time, we spoke about it would be much better having him in and getting him settled.
Aye, yep. I mean, we've played two very important games in the last week there that we could have done them. Yeah. You know, in the team. I would ask the viewers to tell us if there's anyone out there that doesn't want us to sign Shankland. Why? I mean, I failed to see any negative reasons why we would not sign him. I know the transfer fee they're talking is quite high.
That's your own fault. That's your fault.
£5 million been talking about, but you talk about the kind of, he's 28 years old, you know, there's always been this about the player trade model, don't buy him when you're not going to make a profit from him, but would you buy a guy that's ultimately going to hopefully see into the Champions League that's going to win you a lot of money? You know, he doesn't need to necessarily earn money for us in a transfer fee, he could actually earn money for us in prize money. This
is a massive season. If Rangers win the league this season and get into that Champions League, his fee's paid for. Simple as that, his fee's paid for.
Yep. Why would you not sign him?
I've seen people saying what was going to happen 4 or 5 years' time and things like that. Right now, Rangers have only won one title in 12, I think. So we can't be looking 4 or 5 years ahead now. Right now, we need to start winning titles and trophies again. We've won the League Cup, and we need to show a sign of intent. And 2 signs of intent would be keeping Butland at all costs, and then going out and signing a striker that the fans, and I would imagine some of the teammates would want as well.
Listen, I think if you put a bucket outside Ibrox and ask for a whip round, pretty sure we could get we'd probably get £5 million to get on a whip round outside the ground.
And if he score goals against Celtic, that's a big thing for us, you know, because that's the team we need to beat.
Scores goals against us as well. He's a great player. I just don't understand why we've not done it. I mean, there might be something that we are obviously not privy to as Joe Public, but for me, we're shorter players for the Europa League squad as well. You know, we've got to have at least 4 homegrown players and 4 players from our own country.
Thing, we need the homegrown.
And he'll qualify as one of the 4 that have been grown in our own country, sort of thing. So when you're looking at that, I mean, Kamar Roof's in the Europa League squad the last time we looked at it. We're massively short these players. That probably
2 days to go to get them.
Aye, and Scott Wright's probably still at the club because he's Scottish, you know, things like that.
Aye, it's crazy that, because again, Scott Wright, he's a good sub. I wouldn't say a great sub, he's a good sub. But see, when he started at the weekend again, I thought right away, he's not going to make an impact, and he doesn't.
He's using his... Saturday, you can see he's using his squad. You know, there was 4 changes
Yeah.
in the team. He's obviously started Dessers, which was a great decision. Obviously, he's got the goal that won the game and stuff. He started Wright. He brought Goldson back in place of Balogun as well. So he's using the squad, which is wisely. I mean, I think Mark at the start said there we've got, I think it's 5 games. I've got it written down here. 7 games in the next 25 days.
Coming up, 4 of them are at home, I think.
5 are at home.
5 are at home.
5
So
are at home.
that's
Yep.
that's obviously going to benefit us but only benefits if you win. If you don't win, the fans go happy.
Yep.
So there's a sort of play for. But my verdict on it is I don't think we're going to sign Shankland now. But I think it would be incompetence from the board if we don't at least make a major effort to sign him, because I think
Would knowing me, certainly May will know if it's incompetence or not. I think it will certainly point to, if we don't win the league, obviously really hope that doesn't happen, but if we don't win the league in May, I think we'll be pointing back to just now and saying we should have done this bit of business here.
You've got to sometimes make it. You've got to go for it. You've got to take the gamble. I don't think it's a massive gamble, because
No.
he's a goal. The board could never be criticised for signing him as a gamble, because he's scored goals all levels Scottish football.
Yep.
So
I mean, even like Diamandi there, we've signed him last week. Had to wait for a work permit to come through for him, and what happens if we needed him for St Mirren at the weekend? He wasn't available because of work permit reasons. Lawrence Shankland, we need to move house to sign for Rangers.
So let us know what you guys think. I've got a comment came in there. I've not got the Gregory Peck, so I've left it. Give it a...
So James Simpson, he thinks that he would be too old to sign for Rangers.
That's the one I was trying to look at. That's the one above it.
Yep.
Aye. Well, I don't agree with
I
it.
think he's 28, isn't he? So correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's younger than Dessers.
Well,
signed
that's the
Dessers.
case, and we've signed Dessers, and we've signed we've had older players than that playing with Rangers. I don't. He's too old if you're talking about for the next 5-10 years. But
How
we're
old
not
was
talking about
how old was Jermaine Defoe when we signed him? How old was Stephen Davis when we brought him back to the club?
Davy Weir was.
Yep.
Fair age.
Youngest. I think Davy Weir's the oldest guy ever playing a European final. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Could be right. Aye.
So, but I see where he's come from.
Aye. I mean, it's all about circumstances. The circumstance at Rangers is in the club, and the fans are craving to get the league title.
Aye,
We need to make a signing, or we need to get this. Again, I don't want to criticise Dessers, because actually I'm really starting to take to the guy.
Aye, yeah.
He's got an infectious smile. It doesn't get up.
Yeah.
And also, if you want to have an argument, I don't want to get down the road of, separated brethren across the city, but if you have a look at the start of the season, he had 2, maybe 3, I think it was 3 actually, goals chopped off in games that shouldn't have been chopped off, and if they had been kept on, which they rightly should have been, we'd have probably had a far better confidence level, and his goal tally is quite high.
He had a great assist for what should have been a goal in the first Old Firm game of the season at Ibrox, where he was wrongly adjudged to have fouled the Celtic centre half. Laid the ball in for Roof, and Roof finished it absolutely fantastically, as he usually does. And VAR just poked their nose in again where it's not usually wanted, and ruled it offside. I mean, when he first came to the club, we obviously knew that he had a period of time where he was injured towards the end of last season. And people from inside the club were putting the communication out to say, listen, he is going to take longer to get back up to speed. But it was a bad injury. It was his Achilles that he'd done.
Which is one of the worst.
Aye, so it's going to take him longer. And we might now starting to be seeing the real Cyril Dessers. I mean, the goal that he scored at the weekend there,
sublime.
The ball over the top from Lundstrom is obviously absolutely fantastic. But I've been watching Dessers make that run all season, to be honest with you, and nobody's found him. Nobody's put the ball over the top to him. He's been making that run. He's had his hand in the air, week in, week out, making that run every time on the shoulder, and nobody's had the courage to actually drop the ball over to him. And
the guys took a lot of criticism, right? But see that finish? That's as good as any striker can finish. Cheeky it.
Any striker,
of it.
your Hernan Crespo's, your Erling Haaland's of this world, any top class striker's more than happy that ultimately the boy's in the back of the net. That's the most important thing.
The way he done it, and he was only on the park at this point. What, 2 minutes?
14 minutes.
Was it 14 minutes? 14. It was 2 minutes. I can't remember.
No, 14 minutes the game was old at that point. I think he'd had a chance earlier on in the game with that one. That was the kind of first kind of clear cut chance. Tav hit the post in the first half as well, and Dessers as well manufactured a great chance towards the end of the first half as well. He just couldn't quite get the ball out from under his feet to cut it back to somebody.
So the chances, he's taking his chances. He seems to miss the easy ones and score the good ones, but he's a striker. Strikers don't score every goal.
No,
McCoy was famous for... People would say McCoy scored tap-ins majority of the time, but do you know what? That's the great strikers, like Gary Lineker as well, they score the tap-ins. If we can get Dessers to score the tap-ins, then we have got a good quality striker.
Many goals did Chris Boyd score like that in his time with Rangers.
All the great goal scorers there.
Yep. So there's no such thing as a bad goal, in my opinion. So
let's talk about the players that they've got currently with the club. You're talking about Lundstrom, and I know there's chat about him getting a new deal. I think there's no chat about it. I think Rangers cannot afford not to give him a new deal in the current form he's on.
Yeah, so as far as I know, it's down basically, it's between the club and now the agent. The manager said to the club that he's to stay. Lundstrom himself has come out and said that he wants to stay. It's just a case of just working out economically for it as well. I think he's in a decent wage. I think he's picking up quite a good wage at Ibrox, but from what I've read in the press, obviously you need to kind of watch what you're reading and how true it is, but I think he's foregoing a decent signing on fee for a better wage over the period of his contract that he got, so it's now a case that he's probably not going to be able to pick up as good a wage as he was getting, but his performances now need to merit a decent wage that he's getting. I think he's certainly in the top 3 earners or top 4 earners in the club at the moment. So,
yeah, good point. You've got to do that. So, what other topics have we got?
So we've recapped the game at the weekend. I think we were a wee bit. The weekend, I think we were a bit under the cosh, if it's easy enough to say. St Mirren had a real.
Well, I think we should give him credit. I think we should give him credit because not just for that game. Their approach, I like Robinson?
Robinson's team, Robinson,
I think he's a good manager, and I like he's got the courage. A lot of people criticise him. He lost a early goal against Celtic. Right? These things can happen against Rangers and Celtic, and your team can crumble. But in general, I like his approach to football.
They didn't let us settle at all. They didn't let us play our own game. They pressured us. They forced us into making quite a few mistakes, to be honest. There was a particular one that was a cross came in from the left, and John Suter had a bad cross, and it fell to the boy Quan, who's on loan to them just now, and he's blazed one over the bar. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised he never hit the back of the net. It looked hard that he put it where he put it in the stand, and he did actually put it in the net.
My worry was if they'd scored early. In the first half, for example, if they'd have scored, we'd have struggled to come back again.
But the great thing about it was, obviously the game went on. There wasn't really too much. I don't remember the St Mirren goalkeeper really having a save to make in the second half, to be honest with you. But in months gone by, if that was under Beale, potentially under Van Bronckhorst as well, we'd have been on top of them, panic stations, kicking the ball at the park, and potentially. I don't think a Michael Beale team wins that game, to be honest with you. But the confidence that I've got, I'm not worried. I've pure belief that we'll manage the game out. We're professional, that we can do it. We'll see the game out. And part of it, again, coming back to him, is because Jack Butland's in goals. And everyone I say that we're coming to, my brother-in-law's a St Mirren fan. He was at the game with us on Saturday. Met him before and I met him after the game. And I said to him that Butland's going to have his day. If you want to beat us, you've got to get past our goalkeeper. And they couldn't. And I think that goes to every team in this league. They've got to get past their goalkeeper to beat us.
I agree with that. Do you want to catch up with the comments because we can't go back for them? As
sure.
Tommy Condona, first of all. How you doing, Tommy? Clement doesn't like signing players with no possible sell-on. He's made that point about it. I think he made it as the media said he was having a dig at past managers, and he probably was. But it's right. You can't really be buying players. If the club wants to gain money and be a business, then they need to sign him with a better approach.
He certainly wasn't happy with the contract situation, was he?
He was left with.
He wasn't happy that so many players come to the end of their contract at this particular time. For me, I see his point. If you let players run their contracts down as much as they can, you pass the power to the player. It should always be
agent.
It should always be that the club as the employer should be able to say, look, we're the employer, we're the club. This is where you want to be. This is the best club in the world. We're going to pay you this, and you either accept it or you move on. But the players know and the agents know. And it was all our social media, but some of these players, for example, Morelos and Kent. I know that wasn't part of the Clement era, but that model is what he's meaning. So Clement's right. Well, if you've got a situation where the agents and the players know you're about to lose 6 guys potentially all for free, I know that I'm of value, and if I agree to sign for you and I agree to come back, then so you're passing the power to the player and the power to the agent, whereas the club should be always in control of our wage bill.
All right. You want to go with Irvine, man?
Yeah, so Irvine Supporters Club, welcome guys. We need an additional number 9 if we lose Dessers to injury. We're goosed, I'd agree with that definitely. Roof can't string 2 games in a row. The Portuguese lad isn't a number 9. I'd 100% agree with that from what I've seen with Fabio Silva so far. I think particularly what I've seen with Easter Road, him and Cantwell seem to want to occupy the same space quite often.
I'm worried. I hope when I'm saying this, I'm not trying to criticise him because it's early doors. I don't fancy him for Scottish football.
I think we've got to. he's not played in his own preferred position. We've every time he's played him, he started up front for us in the number 9 position.
We traditionally do that with players all the time.
And he's come out in the press and said, I like to play on the wide, I like to come in. So I think we need to do that. The other thing we've got to be careful is that we don't annoy Wolves, because if we want to do business with Wolves in the future and potentially get any more loan signings or do business with in the past, we've got to be seen to be looking after loan players.
That's a good point,
and that's not just Wolves, that goes for any club as well, because if they pull back examples, well, you get a £35 million striker and you didn't look after him properly, so why should we give you our guy?
It's still early doors with him, it's just he's quite similar to what we've already got. There's no anything really. He reminds me on the park of Lowry.
Yeah, yep. I mean, it's certainly he's tracking back and he's working out his work rate. He can't fault at all. I think it's more so that we've just got to find the right position where we use him. I think there's right, but you know what the Irvine guys are saying there is like 100%. We need to sign a striker. We need one more there.
Definitely, I've spoken about this that long. I feel as if I'm boring people. Really. I'm
yep.
probably boring them anyway. But
Daniel's off his crutches now. That's one thing we can say. I mean, Daniel is on his way back. He's putting videos up on his social. That he is now.
Something I've noted, right? Again, this is me only as a fan, and you can tell me if you agree with this. See, since Clement's come in, I feel as if the players that are injured are coming back quicker.
Aye.
Or have more of a... They look more... How will I put it? They look as if they're trying to come back.
Aye. Yep. And listen, I've said this about Clement right from almost day dot when I've started to see his interviews and I started the way that his mannerism, the way that he conducts himself. He is a manager.
He's not taking any messing about.
And nothing against Gio. What Gio did for the club was great. He got a wee bit too pally with him. You know, being a former player, Beale the same, too pally. Gerrard almost to that extent with Gary Mackey stuff, too pally. You need a manager. I mean, he's actually he's the best manager kind of stature of manager we've had since Walter Smith in my opinion.
And he's probably got the same thing that Walter Smith has got. I know he's a big kind of, he's a nice big guy and all that, but I've got a funny feeling he'll be a big game. I wouldn't like to cross him.
Aye, taskmaster. I mean, even you see him himself, he's in the gym every day, he's conducting, leads by example.
He's on the touchline, he's shouting.
Yep.
The other thing as well was he's even alluded to the fact that players were getting injured too early and too easily. Yep. So he's telling you, listen, I'm not having this.
He doesn't zip up the back, and you think if these guys go out and say, Gaff, I need a day off, I'm going golfing with my pals. Days gone by, I think a manager, it's okay, no problem at all. Nowadays, absolutely no chance. You wouldn't jab his door and ask it.
Aye, and that's what we're badly needing, so that's all looking good. What other topics have we got? We'll get the comments first, because we'll lose them if we don't.
Aye, no problem at all. So Stuart Graham, Hearts are looking for too much for Shankland. There's only got 18 months left to his contract. Rangers may hold off, as we don't want to pay the £5 million the knowledge the price may come down as he ends the near of his contract.
So this is where you get the Russian roulette, I would kind of argue, is you don't sign him now, then you sign him. People are saying he's too old now, so he's older in May.
Aye.
If you sign him at the end of the season, right, or August. Also, if Rangers don't win the league, then they've lost more than £5 million. There's a lot of money in this Champions League this season. This is a new format. This is a big thing.
Yep. As well, Hearts are trying to negotiate a new contract with him as well. So, is he using Rangers' alleged, interest? We don't know if Rangers are interested in him, but Hearts apparently have offered to make him. I think it's the highest paid player at Hearts in the last 10 years.
Aye. But
should be talking 15 grand plus. We're talking for that at least, I would imagine.
He's got a family as well, you need to remember that.
Of course it is.
I mean, we're talking through blue tinted glasses, right? And we're saying he's a Rangers man, he should come in, all that, right? But it's got to be fair.
Aye, that's it.
The days are you're a Rangers man, so you come, you get less wages and all that.
Yep.
Isn't it right? Because there's been a culture where Scottish players, I believe, got less wages.
Yep. I mean, you've got to think about what he's leaving as well. He's hero worshipped. He's the club captain. He's the idol.
So that's what I mean. He's almost got an easy ride staying with him.
He's the first name on the team sheet every week. Where he's going to come to us, where he's going to be mixed it in with Dessers, Danilo when he's back. Fabio Silva's obviously in the mix as well. So he's going to be competing potentially with 4 guys for one jersey. So you've got to think. But
that aside, Rangers put a bid in for him tonight. He's walking down the pace of the road.
Mate, honestly, listen, he'd run there. If the M8 was on fire, he'd still run it to get here, honestly, and there.
But what I'll try and know is just, and we're all guilty of it, but there's no point in just constantly talking about Shankland, because we'll have to wait. If he signs on Thursday,
great,
we'll do a show.
See if he doesn't, we're all right behind Cyril Dessers, behind them for.
Well, if something happens on Thursday, a big move, we'll do a show. We'll try and catch. The only thing I'm trying to do, guys, is the comments, because we're going to miss some.
So your next one, Tony Cardona, Scott Wright.
Tommy Cardona.
Yep, Tommy proves in every game that Scott Wright proves, Tommy Wishy plays for Rangers. Scott Wright proves in every game that he plays that he hasn't got what's required to play for Rangers. The difference after he was hooked was very noticeable. I'd agree with that as well. I think Scott Wright offered very little at the weekend, to be honest with you as well.
It's a great show. Thanks, Vicky. How you doing?
Aye, thank you very much.
No see. It's good to see you still watching the channel.
Yep.
Alan's just saying yes.
Yeah. And Lex Galloway at the bottom there. So Butland is going nowhere. Shanklin will be a bear tomorrow night.
Hope so. I meant to remind you something. You maybe actually got it on that list, but if no, we're actually going to do a wee show or something about the Rangers players playing in the
AFCON. Aye. So I think it's probably not going to be a live show. I think it's probably something we'll record, but I've made a list of all the Rangers players, right going back to as far back as Jimmy Hubbard, the South African. Johnny Hubbard, sorry.
You get all the names right.
It's before my time, so what do you know? I'm not saying he's at your time either, by the way. But anyway.
My wee pal, I done his testimonial, didn't I?
Aye, so basically every African player that's, even right down to Salim Kirka.
So have you got them all? Have you done that?
I've got pretty much everyone. I think, obviously the guys will keep me right.
Somebody will come in, when they show somebody.
Aye, but even right down to somebody like Dean Furman, I think he only played once for Rangers as South African, but he had a decent career down south.
We had a boy, I can't remember, during the Souness era, I think, my memory's never the best. I'm sure we signed a young black lad, and his name was... he would have played 1 or 2 games. I can't remember. I'm sure he was South African, but I might be wrong.
Well, we had an Egyptian play for us back in the 30s as well. His name escapes me, obviously.
Mohamed Latif.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Aye, so...
I've got that right. Listen to the stories. If David Haird's on this, he'll be cursing us and going like that right away.
Be right honest. Listen, maybe David could come on and talk about it with us. So we'll hopefully be putting that out. The African Cup of Nations finals around about the 11th of February. So...
Well, why don't we maybe even do a watch along for that? Just have a bit of banter and watching the game. It'll be a big game.
Aye, yep. So we're talking maybe lots of happy memories. We get some controversial guys you'll have just in your Belial Mosneys of this world and stuff like that, obviously.
Cases. I was actually thinking... I want to say this without sounding like prejudice or anything like that, but see, when I watch the African World, is it the World Cup?
It's the World Cup. It's basically their equivalent of the Euros.
The Euros. When I watch it, I just think as if they go back to in the European League, there's more rules. They're more stricter than the rules, and it's just like good back to let's enjoy ourselves and just get tore in, like the street football.
Yeah, yep, certainly.
I've seen the penalty at the weekend. Was that who was that? Ivory Coast.
From the goalkeeper that scored the penalty?
No, there was a penalty where they nearly halved the guy in two.
Missed it. Never saw that one.
Can't remember who it was, but the tackles are just... You love to watch it, if you know what I mean.
Aye, I mean, Big Bassy set up the winner for with the second goal for 2-0 for Nigeria. I think it's taken them into the quarters there, so it's nice to see some of the players that have came past us doing well on the international stage.
And it was there's a few Rangers references as well. The guy that does the drawing and things like that, remember he was doing the media?
Yeah.
If you remember his name, he was wearing his Rangers top pair in it.
Oh, yeah.
What was his name? You mind that talk Europa when we go to the final?
Yeah, so I think he's a media ambassador for UEFA, maybe, that guy?
Yeah. He attends him.
He met Basil Bolly in a hotel.
Aye.
So in Basil Bolly, straight away, I know who you are.
That's the one I was talking about,
aye, yep, so...
Anyway.
All good.
As usual.
Aye, so let's talk about maybe potentially guys going out the way. So, obviously we've covered Butland off at the start of the show there. Yilmaz, apparently Galatasaray came back in with a £3 million bid, €3.5 million for him today. Or yesterday, sorry, it was declined.
And we're looking at left backs.
Aye, we're looking for €4.5 million apparently for Yilmaz, that's our number.
Sorry, is it right back, isn't he?
No, Yilmaz going out the way, sorry.
Going out the way, aye.
Yeah, going out the way. So this is players going out the way. So Yilmaz, potentially Galatasaray, have had 2 bids refused. We've named our price for him. So it's up to them to come back.
I don't want him to go.
Barisic, there's not much been spoken about him. He's obviously in the last 6 months. His contract.
Again, this is back to what we spoke about a minute ago.
Yep.
The player model.
Yep. Jose Cifuentes, a £2 million deal apparently for him to go away initially on loan to Turkey.
I don't like picking a player, but I don't fancy that boy at all. I don't think he's good. He reminds me of the Hamilton guy, Jose. The wee guy he's like Harlem Globetrotter. He's brilliant to keep you up and all that.
Oh,
Jose
Kitongo.
Yeah, he's a good football player, like the 5 sides, or if he was doing tricks. But the game's too fast for him.
I think he's just struggled to adapt. I've actually been to a couple of the MLS games myself. I enjoy holiday in Orlando. So when I'm over there, I try and go to an Orlando City game.
Can he hide money?
I've been to see Kaka and stuff like that. So it's been brilliant over there. I've seen Kaka a couple of times out there, but it was the difference from the MLS to here. These guys are playing in monstrous heats, and the pace of the game is ridiculous. And I seen Kaka play. It was against Cincinnati, and they were 2-0 down, I think, to the last 10 minutes. Then the sunset, now where you are in Florida, the sun sets very quickly because it's close to the equator.
Aye.
But see, as soon as the sun set, Kaká turned into this different guy.
Is that right?
And it's the difference is that the heat these guys are playing in, they were sort of struggle to adapt to playing in Scottish football because we're
And
playing.
that's different for the passion rain down at Dumbarton.
Aye, but it's just the intensity. It's the intensity and the pace.
Because
Of
that
the
would have
game.
been called in there at the coast.
You see Cifuentes, the Champions League qualifier against PSV Ibrox, the first game, and he just totally passed them by. I couldn't believe the pace of the game. PSV are obviously a quality outfit.
Aye, that was a proper European game.
Aye, I mean, they've had a fantastic. I think they've only lost one game all season, even that.
But back to what you're saying, I know, that's right. We didn't get the credit about how good they were, to be fair.
Aye,
But
yep.
Back to what you're saying, I think if he goes to another league,
Yep.
that he probably wouldn't be a bad player, but he wouldn't make it in British football, I don't think.
Aye, I mean, I don't know. Certainly, he's going to go somewhere where he's maybe got a wee bit of a better chance of playing every week and stuff. But at this moment in time, he's so far down the pecking order for us, it's incredible. So there's talk of £2 million for him coming in. Again, just that player trading model, why not? You know, we brought him in for not very much money. We see him out the door. It was an experiment, it didn't work. Let's just make sure we don't lose any money.
We'll let him go. I think if they get any kind of half decent bid for him, he's gone.
Aye, yep. And your last one, likes tonight, Rabin Matondo, going to Mainz in Germany. Obviously, he's been.
I haven't heard that.
Yes, that came out tonight just about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock came out. I think they've made a tentative inquiry about him. So he came from Schalke, so he's obviously Welsh English lad. Came through the Man City Academy, they sold him to Schalke, so he's accustomed to the way German football is, so he'll be known out there, so that's one potentially there. The only thing with Ab Matondo, blows hot and cold, he's picking up a great wage at Rangers, to be honest with you, so I think that may be a stumbling block.
He's not a bad player, but I thought when he first came to the club, I thought he was going to be a better player.
Aye, yeah.
He's not lived up to his expectations,
No.
but it's hard to come to Rangers.
Yeah. You maybe remember the West Ham friendly at Ibrox?
Aye, I remember that.
We were absolutely
We beat
fantastic.
them.
Aye,
And we played Tottenham a week later.
yeah, with Kent on the left and Matondo on the right, and I was like, absolutely delighted with it, and I thought this was it, you know.
And then he peaked and that was it. A wee bit like the thing with this year, Lammers. I thought Lammers was going to be brilliant in the friendlies.
Scored that goal against Newcastle, didn't he? Robbed the centre half of the ball and a great finish. The friendly there. He's went away for Rangers and he's a world star. He's a world superstar now. So.
But again, what we're saying, it's a different league.
Aye, this is it. So that's your kind of guys, you know. So we'll be interested to hear what the guys would say about that for players going out. So we've got Barisic, Yilmaz, Cifuentes, Matondo, and of course our goalie Butland. Is it there?
Back to what we're talking about on that. Do you think to get a striker in, we need to get rid of a few of them? I think business-wise we'd have to. You need to make money. You can't just keep. Also, the financial fair play league. You can't be buying and no selling.
This is it, and this is where these loans with the obligation to buy kicks in. It's clubs kind of really playing that game of the financial fair play that they've effectively bought a player, but they're going to pay for him later on just to make sure that they meet their obligations of the financial fair play. So that's part of it as well.
So how many's there in that list?
So you've got 5, including the goalie.
5. I would say you're probably looking to get rid of 3 of them if you could.
Yep. So, and then leading me nicely on, you think we were prepared or something like that? Players out of contract at the end of the season. So, these are guys in the last 6 months of their contract here. So, Borna Barisic is again on that list. He's there. So, these guys are free to talk to clubs now and they can potentially agree terms with other clubs and see themselves out. So, I don't know how you feel about a player agreeing terms with another club to say that he's leaving at the end of the season already.
It happens at every football club now, right? And every football fan probably thinks the same. You get very bitter about it, Addy.
Aye, yep. So there, so you've got John McLaughlin, goalie, 36-year-old.
I'd let him go.
Yep.
I don't see him ever playing a game with Rangers unless need be.
Yep. Thank you for his time.
You're a good guy. No harm to the guy. It's a wage.
Yep. Barisic obviously there. I think there's still a few quid in Barisic. He's still a Croatian international left back. Do you know if we could do something about money there for him? You know, is there any of these a young Croatian talent out there that we could potentially go be looking at and say, listen, if you give us your young lad, could we potentially give you an international player, you know, coming towards the end of his time with us, with that one?
Yeah.
Here's a tough one for you, Leon Balogun. Did you renew his contract?
Aye.
Yep. Okay.
I'm a big fan of Balogun for a couple of reasons. I done a thing just before you came on to the Gers TV. You maybe remember me talking about it. When he left Rangers, he was coming up to European games and he was paying for his ticket to get in.
Aye.
That shows me. I know that doesn't mean he deserves a game. So do we all. That doesn't mean you get a game. I get that.
Aye.
However, the guy's got passion, and when he plays, he gives it 100%.
Yep.
I would give him another contract because he's not really let us down.
Aye. There's guys that are, don't kid yourself on. There's guys at the club just now that are here to pick up a wage, and there's guys that are here that want to play for the club. And I think Balogun falls under that head that he wants to be here. He loves the club and loves everything about it.
If we could get a classy centre half in, great. But I would still have Balogun as a backup.
Yeah, yep. The only thing with it, your argument against it is how much does it hold Leon King back? and not realising his potential.
I feel sorry for Leon King as well, because the Liverpool game no finished him, but that must have crushed him. It crushed me. I was still on after the game. I couldn't leave. I couldn't go.
Certainly finished James Sands off as a Rangers player anyway, that's for sure.
Well, Sands kind of, well, nobody passed blame players, but it was Sands' fault more than it was Leon King. He was only a young boy. But again, so it's holding him back, you're right.
Victim of circumstance, though, it was again leaving ourselves thin in the ground as far as a squad's concerned, you know. And
you've also got the problem as a young boy Rangers fan, he's not going to know what to play, even if you're not ready.
Yeah.
So you're right there, it is holding him back, so it's a good point.
Next on the list here, Ryan Jack, coming in the last 6.
Needs to go.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think Ryan Jack, I mean, you've seen the Saturday there, and even at Easter Road, since the break there, the last 2 games for Raskin, the game seems to be passing him by. I don't know.
Raskin's I don't know what's happened with Raskin, but he's not been the same player since even since Clement came in or whatever.
I think he's struggling to adapt to his system. I don't think he's doing really well in the system there. Whereas
he's flattered to deceive. He started off his career with Rangers as a really promising player, but I wouldn't miss him.
I think I think there's a player in there. There's definitely loads of potential, but again, does he just not suit the system? Like Kamara's a Leeds player because he didn't suit Beale's system. You know, there's certain things there's certain guys that they just don't suit the system. They're seen out the door. So, Ryan Jack there. I think there's a contract on the table if he tells me he retires for Scotland.
Well, I've ranted about that on Gers TV for a long time. That should have been in his contract, the last contract. The amount of times he's came back for a Scotland game injured.
Yep.
And when he's played for Scotland, they booed him. I'm thinking it's
not for me.
Doesn't make it sense to me.
I don't care who you are. Like, even when Sam Lammers, Cyril Dessers, there's guys that have had particularly bad games for Rangers would never, ever in a million years boo my own player. Under any don't care. Even I mean, I've been to Scotland games, and if a Celtic player come on the park, I wouldn't boo him. Wouldn't necessarily clap him, but I wouldn't boo him.
I've never booed. No, to be honest, you've seen the booing scenario, right? Obviously, people know my opinion on certain players that have played in the past that shouldn't have played for the club. I've never booed a Rangers player in my life. No. The only time I've really booed Rangers was the Tillman incident when he scored the goal against Thistle, and Beale decided that the sportsmanship to give him the goal.
Aye.
It's the only time I can actually remember me booing the team. It wasn't the team, it was booing the manager because I thought he got it wrong.
Aye, yeah, and that's probably one of the biggest arguments. I was away on holiday with the missus for that game, and I watched it in there, and it was buffering. And I couldn't understand what was going on with it. I didn't see the ball going out, and then I never seen it. Next thing you know, I seen Tillman on the ground. So I'm watching the game on the phone in the bar, and I'm jumping up and down crazy.
I still feel it affected his confidence afterwards.
Aye, yeah. So there was that one. But no, I mean, I think he complements Lundstrom and him. They're brilliant in midfield together. There was a game earlier on in the season at Dens Park. He was the best player in the park by far. But he needs to, and I've not got a problem with any player wanting to play for the international team, provided that it's not a detriment to the employer.
Well, I agree with you, and it leads me to what I was going to say there as well was, I think at some point anyway, we need to be replacing Ryan Jack with the quality of Ryan Jack, not just replacing him with a player.
Yep. Mohamed Diamandi maybe that guy already,
well,
maybe already in the building.
Because on his game, he's our best midfielder.
Aye.
On his game, but he's not fit enough, long enough.
Yep. John Lundstrom, we spoke about earlier on. I think we say we're both happy for him. Kamal Roof, I don't think there's very many players.
How high is his wages? That's the big thing.
I think he's the highest earner.
Nobody's going to tell you he doesn't score good goals, but he's not fit enough.
Yep. Great player. Terrible fitness record.
And it's no the Clement. That's not what he wants. He doesn't want to take chances with that.
No, not certainly in the wages picking up. Certainly, I mean, you'd probably be able to find us 2, maybe even possibly 3 players for that kind of wage. And no disrespect, he was great for us in the 55 scene. He scored a lot of really important goals for us.
He wasn't a bad signing.
Aye, scored probably one of the best goals in Europa League history when he kicked the ball for the halfway line at a puddle.
I would say one of the best goals in football.
Possibly.
I kind of think because he beat 3 players.
Just took the ball in his own half, skinned 3 guys and booted it at a puddle right in the back of the net.
Because I got that, what you're talking about the buffer, and that's what happened with me that night when I was watching it on the illegal stream.
Yep.
The old dodgy, as well know, but
allegedly illegal
I was watching it on that, and he went for a tackle, and the next thing I know, the ball's in the net.
Yep.
And I'm going, I think I've got a different game scheme on or something now because back and forward and things like that. What's going on? And I couldn't fathom how the ball went for the bottom half of the park to there. And then when I watched it again, I thought that was a goal. That was a proper.
Yeah, but he's a big game player as well. You know, he
calmed down.
Goals against Braga as well. You know, when we went to the Europa League final, going extra time against them.
He's a likeable guy as well. He wears the Rangers training kit when he's no training with Rangers in it. He wears it. He's brought it into the club.
Yep.
But he's getting injured far too often. We need to get away from the culture of players being injured.
Yep.
If that means that we've been buying players in the past that have maybe been told by the way, you're getting him a bit cheaper because he's made of glass. You're getting him cheaper for that. We need to get rid of that culture.
Yep. I think you can take a chance on the players. See if you have a first class, top of the range medical department with all the facilities, all the staffing, guys that potentially wouldn't get other guys fit, then you can potentially take a chance on it because you've got the staff and the facilities in the building to make it work.
But right now,
I don't believe we do.
I don't think Clement wants that either. So what else have we got on the agenda right there?
So that's really it. I mean, looking forward to Friday night. So obviously we
Get a wee plug.
Yeah, so we had Stuart on Saturday with Vivian and Gordon. I think they looked as if they enjoyed themselves. So they were here on Saturday, a great interview. So we thank Stuart for doing the interview with us. So we're going to the journey back on Friday night.
So we're going to be a wee night out.
Aye, so we are first of all going to Mr. Singh's.
Mr. Singh's.
For a curry.
Bombay Loyal. Aye, going to see Satty, Bobby, Mark, Oleg, and all the team.
Yep. So we're in there.
Just we need to ask that game so we get plenty of food, man.
Exactly.
Guys,
Cut on hands, you know what I mean? So we've got that first of all. Might have a special guest join us for that as well.
That's right.
Waiting for confirmation of that one. So
we'll speak about that. But we'll not mention it now because
we'll wait and see. So you need to
smarter than us.
So Friday night, keep an eye on the socials for us, guys, and we have a special guest join us on Friday, which we're hoping for, looking forward to.
Yeah, we might do a wee video promotion with that as well.
Yep.
And then we're going to the theatre.
Going to the gig, yep. Friday night, we're there for the opening night, so we'll be doing a wee bit of feedback on that. We're wishing the guys all the best.
There's still tickets left for that as well. I don't know how many, but if you post on the page, I'm sure Stuart or Victoria actually knows quite a lot about it. She was telling me how many seats and all that.
Yeah, so I think they're available through Ticketmaster. If you just did your normal Ticketmaster app. For that as well, so you should be able to get it through there.
Victoria she's also flying out tonight or tomorrow night, I guess tonight actually, and she'll be in Scotland for it, so she's going to meet up with us.
That'll be brilliant. Yep, get to meet her in person for the first time.
That's right. We'll have Victoria there, Gordy, Vivian,
Sandra I think is coming as well. Yep.
Aye, so there's
full team.
And then where are we going to?
And then after that we're going to Oswald's.
For a swally.
Yep, so we're going to go and see Gary, Joanne, the rest of the guys there.
So it should be a good night, guys. And wish all the guys involved with the play all the success, because there's no many Rangers plays out there.
No.
That's something that you need to remember, that people need to support any kind of Rangers events, I think.
Aye, that's it. If you don't support it, you'll not get them coming back to you. I think he said that he had a trip in the interview that it wasn't particularly well. I think it was Dunfermline he said he went to, and he was a wee bit disappointed with the ticket uptake from that sort of thing. So it's one of these ones again, if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So
100%. Same as the Rangers bars and things like that. We need to support each other every way we can.
Aye, definitely. But it's a celebration of the journey back, so I'm really looking forward to it. I promised myself I'm not going to cry. Even just listening to the interview the other night, I was getting a bit emotional about it also.
No, definitely, and it's a great story. The only thing I'm more thinking about the irritable bowel syndrome I've got. I eat things and all that, and if I'll probably spend more time on the pan, we'll say the show's on because of the curry.
Needs a wee korma, mate. Go mild.
No, I'm going Gandhi's revenge. I always say to him, he's the hottest curry you've got.
Yep. So
Saturday never fails. So it's going to be a great night, guys. If you've not got a ticket yet and you want to go on Friday night, there's tickets available, so I'd encourage you to get involved in that.
I think there's tickets available for every night. Don't quote me on that. So, be a great one on Saturday. Go and watch Rangers at Ibrox, and then straight along to the Armadillo for that one after at the SEC.
It's a big weekend. Also, I want to give a wee plug. We're going to start a new show on Saturday morning. Before I do that, first of all, Saturday morning I'm going to be doing the draw for the Stephen Davis frame picture, his Northern Ireland picture that you saw on social media. That's for all our patrons. If you want to join that, you just basically join one of the packages. I'll be doing that on Saturday morning, and then we're starting a new show with Jeff Holmes and David Herd, both Rangers fanatics, authors, and very intelligent guys. They're going to be doing a Rangers historical show once a month, talking about random subjects on Rangers Football Club and the history of the greatest football club in the world. So we'll be starting that on Saturday as well, so it's all happening with Gers TV.
Yeah, so Gordy's got his radio station. Friday's right as well, the Gers FM.
Gers FM. That's just started as well, so give Gordy a bit of support on that. And I think Gordy's going to be doing his, what do you call that, Spotify. Again, he's got the Spotify, we're going to be encouraging that.
Yep.
We've got the website's getting updated this week.
Got to get the website worked on as well, make that a wee bit more sprucey.
Merchandise is coming. We met a friend today who's going to get the merchandise ready. I'll show you it later on. It looks really good.
Yep.
So it's all happening.
And then possibly a big announcement.
Can't mind. Oh, aye. So, right. That'll be getting announced next week.
Yep.
It's ready to go. We just need to get that. We just need to
just got to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Aye, so it's all happening, guys. But if anybody wants to get involved with the channel, we're always looking for help. First of all, anybody who's... But I always say kind of shouldn't, because I think that's the ideal scenario for it, Ryan. But we're looking for somebody that would be studying website design.
Anyone who's anyone's certainly looking for a wee bit of a work experience that would be able to demonstrate what they're looking to do, sort of thing. So
I'm still used to the Spectrum 48K for the old guys.
I'm not going to say I'm technically gifted either. I can work a computer just as well as anybody, but if you ask me, they're short. If it breaks down, just switch it off and switch it back on again.
If somebody's out there, maybe they're one of their family members or an older person that's got time that's been studying it, they know how to work websites, it could help us.
Yep.
Make sure you got transport if it's in Glasgow area, or the west of Scotland, if it's close enough, we would get you there and back. You wouldn't be out of pocket, and even for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, but that would be a big help.
And they don't even need to be in Glasgow because it's online. You know, potentially they could be based.
Actually, you're right. They could anywhere.
Internationally, anywhere in the world. So if you're a Rangers fan and you know how to work websites and you can do it, anyone, just please reach out to us, get in touch. We're happy to have a conversation. We're more than open with the doors here.
You don't need to actually come in and do it. That's right. I never thought of that. Also, if anybody, we've got the studio now up running, perfect. We've got the fastest broadband you can get. We've got the calls coming back next week. They should have been back tonight. We just can't run back and forward to Durham. We need the exercise here enough after any biscuits.
I've not had one. You've eaten them all.
Meet the dog, blame the dog. We're going to have the calls back next week. We've got events starting. We've got merchandise starting. It's all happening. So if anybody wants to get involved through sponsorship, we're going to be able to put the logo back on the channel because we've got the quality we want now, the sound, the visual, and there'll be more shows. So if you want to get involved with sponsorship as well, that would be great. Just drop us a wee PM and we can sort that for you. Any comments when they were missed out or anything?
No, I've plenty of love for this there, so I appreciate everyone tuning in as always, guys.
Give us a wee, if you could for us as well, give us a wee share and a wee thumbs up if you enjoy the show. And if you're watching later on, obviously you can still share it because it's on all social media. We've got it on Facebook, Twitter, what else? We're on YouTube and Instagram.
Instagram, aye.
We put parts on it, we put clips on it.
Yeah.
Vivian's also going to be trialling a new project too. We'll not talk about it now because we don't want anyone to know about it yet.
We'll steal our thunder off either.
In case we talk about it and somebody steals our idea.
Aye, that's true as well. Aye, but 4 home games in a row for the Teddy Bears now.
So it's all happening, guys. It's good. Everybody's going to get a chance to go and see Rangers at Ibrox. Go and enjoy yourself in the Rangers bars. That's a big thing for me. Go and support each other.
Yeah, certainly.
We'll be doing some lives.
Yep.
We'll be doing our weekly show. It's going to be back to a Tuesday now. And next month is back to the Europa League,
yeah. So the round of 16, the round of 32 is happening now. I was having a wee quick look at the fixtures there just to see who I fancy and who I don't fancy. There's some tasty ties in there.
And Rangers will be away first.
We're away first proceeded. Is finishing
that's because we don't play the next round.
Yeah. So we are. So there's basically it's your second place teams in the groups against your Champions League dropouts just now.
It's when it gets tough again.
Aye, so I mean there's some fantastic clubs still in there, but there's some winnable ties as well. I had a wee look at potential where we could be going and stuff like that. I think of the 16 teams we could possibly face, I fancy 11 of them.
There's a lot of good draws in there. Milan's in there, isn't he?
AC Milan are in there. You've got your Sporting Lisbon. You've got Benfica in there as well.
A lot of good draws in it.
Braga are there as well. Obviously well known to us. They're part of it. So some great ties in there. Liverpool and Bayer Leverkusen, I think, are probably your favourites for it.
Doug's gone nuts, man. Yeah. So that's us, guys, for the night anyway. I think there's nothing else to go with.
No, listen, if anyone wants to come along, see us on Friday night, we'll be in Oswald's after the show, so you know where to find us. You want to come and say hello?
And I'll finish the show off for us, guys. So once again, always remember,
we are
the people.